Since Flatout 2 has a licensed soundtrack and I don't want to get banned in over 200 countries again, there will be no opening montages this time around. Aww. Sad, I know. But at least this game has a killer soundtrack that I can't show you. Yeah. This is Flatout 2. Just to reiterate, Flatout was a racing game using derby cars. It was a decent title, but definitely had its flaws. Check out my past review for my full thoughts on it. Now we have the sequel, Flatout 2, with a bigger team, a bigger budget, and an established formula to build up. Flatout 2 is easily the superior game in my book, but how much better is it compared to its predecessor? We should start off with the driving model. Flatout 1 suffered from a huge case of oversteering as your car almost always spun out, and I regrettably learned how much lighter cars sucked in that game. Life also sucked driving on ice, but it was funny to see how bad the AI struggled with it as well. But in Flatout 2, the handling is much more forgiving, which allows for smoother driving overall. You still need to slow down on certain turns and different terrain has a noticeable impact, but it plays more of an arcade racer than a straight up simulation, which could be good or bad depending on your preference. New to Flatout 2 is the ability to wreck your opponents. Flatout 1 had cars being worn down, but there was no way to legitimately destroy them. Now you can in both derby events and races, and the same can happen to you. It's pretty damn satisfying delivering the killing blow to your opponent, but somehow they manage to stay alive for the next race. Regardless of the improbability of surviving an explosion, the driving model and the physics are well done. Crashes feel better than ever, and your character flying through the windshield happens less often, which is a huge plus for me. In Flatout 1, your opponents were just random people, but in Flatout 2, each character has their own name, personality, backstory, colors, vehicle, and driving style. Now when I lose, I know who exactly to curse out, which oftentimes is Sofia Martinez. Screw that chick. Bang. Difficulty and the AI are much better balanced in this one with less spikes overall. The AI seems to be targeting everyone instead of just you, and it's good to see them make mistakes even on the highest difficulty. It adds a human element that many racing games fail to have. The car selection has been expanded on, with races featuring one of three classes: the Derby class, the Race class, and the Street class. Derby cars are your returning cars from Flatout 1 with a few new additions. They can take a beating but are the slowest of the bunch. It's the first class you start out with, which makes for some excellent beginner cars and gives you a chance to get used to the driving in Flatout. Next up is the Race class. These cars are fast and durable, but not as speedy as the Street class and not as strong as the Derby cars. It's a nice little hybrid between the two. The Street class has the nicest and fastest looking cars of them all, but holy hell, these cars blow up on contact. During one of my races, I had 6 people, including myself, get their cars wrecked. It was absolutely beautiful chaos. The career mode has been revamped a little bit from the first game. You still of course gain money to buy cars to gain more money to buy more cars, but money comes easier this time around. You get money not only for placing, but also for damaging your opponents, the side events, and various awards that are awarded at the end of the race. Even though Flatout 1 had its fair share of events, that number has easily doubled in this one. These events are so damn ridiculous that it becomes hilarious, especially if you're drunk. Some notable examples include basketball, soccer, darts, bowling, and even skipping stones. How the hell do you skip stones with a human body? Is that even possible? Destruction derbies are easily my favorite event for the career mode. Not only is destroying cars fun, but the AI targets everyone instead of just you. This allows you to develop a strategy and execute it to the best of your abilities. Total War Destruction Derby? Thank God the upgrade system was, well, upgraded. I actually know what the hell is happening to my car now. There's also a bit of give and take element with each upgrade. For example, upgrading the chassis can make the car stronger, but will also add weight as well. However, I wish there were some aesthetic upgrades as well. It doesn't have to be in the levels of Need for Speed Underground 2, but at least some rims and a custom paint job would have sufficed. There are a decent amount of locations and the tracks themselves are good, especially this one, but the tracks could have been more varied. They show the same scenery over and over again, and I felt like there could have been more variation between them. Damn, I really wish they made more games similar to this. I'm getting a bit sick and tired with the constant barrage of simulation racers. I love my Forza, but it's become a bit overbearing now. And before anybody comments on Bugbear's new project called next car game Wreckfest, that game has been in early access for over 2 years with nominal updates. I'm not going to buy it anytime soon. Even though Flatout Ultimate Carnage is technically an upgraded version of the game, I would still highly recommend this one. It's a blast of fun, the controls are solid, and while I do have my gripes, it's still a well-made game that holds up to this day. Thanks as always for watching, and this is Pow3rh0use asking, where's the fair use?